1912. He worked as a blacksmith. He came over here to make some money to go back to Lithuania to open up a machine shop. And he used to put all the farm equipment of Count Titskevich in Lithuania and Poland. He used to put the farming equipment together. And my mother came over in 1905. And they met here and they got married here. And I was born here. And at that time, it was very important that people didn't know anything about Lithuania. They thought it was like a disease, you know, what is Lithuania? And so it was my hope and projection that we educate, or not educate, but bring to attention what Lithuania has done and how important they are and how good the people are. And that from that particular section. And it's very interesting. Lithuania was really Lithuania and Poland, but basically Lithuania was the center of the cultural activities until Peter the Great, and then Peter the Great, of course, this is my opinion, you know, brought in the West and a lot more money. So anyway, this is and this was an opportunity. So when we were setting up the museum, I talked to the top library here, Newberry Library, and one of the men over here said, from the library, said, when they come to the museum, who's going to answer the questions? And he said, you need a library and archives. You know, you want to know what's the history, you want to know your heritage, you want to know your genealogy, you need a library. So then we opened up the library. But the library is a lot of books, but the current activity and some of the small important items are in the archives. A love letter, something about the newspapers. We got the biggest collection of periodicals in the world, actually, Lithuanian periodicals. So we start building on it, and we don't want to get in competition to anybody else. We want to be scholarly. We want people to learn. We want the kids to come in, use the research library, not dance and sing all the time, which is all right, but that doesn't do anything for the brain. So then what is happening, our connections with the American market, we got two things. We do try to connect the American people with Lithuanians and American business with the Lithuanian business. And that, of course, then we have to support the American community so they will support the Lithuanian community. Very basic, no brain power on it. So what is happening, and our museum is, we're not interested in the building itself. We want to know what's in the building, what people can take home. You see flowers here. You could see something like in your house at home. It looks a little bit like a home. So we have a room now where our members can meet together. They come in together. They bring people. They bring their children there. And we have 2-3 programs a week on the thing, and we try to approach to the people. So the museum is for the people. It's not for some way, something that you go once in your lifetime. It's there to be used, and we help the people as much as we can. And this is where the gratification comes in. We're all non-for-profit. Nobody gets any salary. And people like it. We like the people, and they like us, So you see how many different people we had today. That was an interesting program we had. And we had a lot of that, the Napoleon Guards and so forth. So we look for things that people are not know much about, or we don't know much. I'm learning something every day. And that's where I come in there. I pick up a book and I'm stuck with the book until I finish it. So that's the philosophy, we're non-political. We want to support all the Lithuanians, their children, and to give them help to go scholarship. They want to volunteer at the museum. We don't have a job for them. We create a job for them. So when they go to the college, they said, yes, I worked in a museum. They'll open the door right away. Because they want, all schools want well-rounded kids who know how to serve the public, how to serve their own people, and to go and be hard workers. And this is what the museum is, you know.
So what do you think are the most important achievements of the museum?
Well, I think the most achievement is the fact that we think different than a lot of small little clubs and organizations. We try to help everybody. And you have to know what, in America, you have so many opportunities. You know, you have, you'll open a newspaper, half of it is for art and performing arts and all. So we have to go and be able to go and get people to think differently. If you're going to talk to a little small group all the time, you're not going to learn anything. You have to talk to different groups all the time. And so, you know, if you're going in business, you want to have business contacts. So you want them to be able to say, I'm Lithuanian, why don't you come and visit the museum or this organization or that organization? So it's the type of mental processes. A museum is an educational, it's like a university. You have to use it, and you have to like it, and you have to work at it, and it's fun too on top of it.
So you still go to museum every day?
Every day. I usually come home about 11, 12 o'clock at night. I'm there at 8, 9 o'clock.
And what do you work at the museum?
Well, all the paperwork. You didn't see my desk files and files. We answer all the questions. We get everybody. All the questions. I was going to bring you something, but I didn't bring it. And anyway, if you go there tomorrow, I'll show you. And there's a lot of work because we have to contact the Americans. We work with the Poles, Americans, the blacks, the Italians, everybody we work. We're the only ones that work with everybody. And that's where we learn. Follow me? We learn from them and they learn from us. And so you need that web, or that network, as we call it here, is very important. Because if you're going to have a business and you're not going to associate yourself with a business community, you lose a lot. Mm. You learn from your competition.
Yeah, so, and how old are you and how long do you have the museum?
We're celebrating, and we just celebrated 50 years in a museum, and I'm 94 years old. And I told my doctors, I'm going to live to 125.
To achieve world record?
It's good to look toward. Trouble is, my doctors are dying off on me.
Well, thank you very much, and good luck in running the museum, which is an extremely important institution of Lithuanian people in Chicago and the United States of America.
Well, we have to also not forget the Lithuanians all around the world. You know, a lot of them already mixed marriages already, and our greatest support is from the women. Surprisingly, you know. That love for Lithuania is there. I mean, it's really strong. So they bring their husband, they bring their relatives over there. We treat them nice, and yeah, it's fun. You should get connected to the museum if you're going to volunteer. Any place, you should get connected. It's a lot of fun. We do anything or everything we want to do, and that helps Lithuania. It's a good deal.
Thank you.